It's just my opinion, but Boyhood wasn't that good. So for those of you who don't know, Boyhood is a film that takes place over a span of 12 years following a child in real time as he grows up. They took 12 years to film it, and the entirety of the movie is 12 years. Unfortunately, however, it feels like you're watching it for about 12 years too. Having a unique style can go a long way in making a great film, but that's not all that you need. I think the point of the movie is that life is unplanned and we don't really know what's going on, we're just on for the ride. They sum that up by saying,
everyone's always saying, seize the moment. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking it's the other way around. You know, like, the moment seizes us.
And that's a fair statement, and both points are good. However, I don't think that that was a good way to approach a film, is to not have a plan, and that's how this whole movie felt. As we watch this kid grow up into a young adult, we really don't know why we're watching it. And just because it's the same child actor growing up doesn't mean that it's any more remarkable than if we had him age with CGI or had a different actor. It's cool and it's unique, but what about the rest of the movie? Well, unfortunately, some of the acting is really, really bad.
Check this out, man.
Oh! Pancreas.
Check that shit out. Lethal.
That would be painful.
Oh, man, have a beer, man. That was awesome.
Oh, no thanks.
Come on, man.
What are you, a pussy?
I just don't feel like drinking a beer right now.
Man, if you're too chicken shit to even have a beer, I know for a fact that you've never gotten any pussy.
You guys have.
That'd be fine, kind of, if it was just the kids, but it's the adults too.
Clean it up! Goddamn, clean it up. I hate squash!
That's like adult film level acting. Like, how can you not laugh? And I think a lot of the actors are doing their best, but this dialogue is just so bland and boring and just so fake that they don't know what to do with what they're given. The whole point of this movie is that there is no point, and fair enough, we don't really know the point of life.
So what's the point?
Or what?
I don't know any of this. Everything.
What's the point? I mean, I sure as shit don't know. I mean, but neither does anybody else, okay? We're all just winging it.
But if you're gonna say something that simple, you don't need to spend 2.5 hours doing it. Honestly, we could have gotten the same message out of just seeing his senior year of high school. He's been dating the girl, he thinks he knows what he's doing with life, and then it all falls apart. We don't need to see him grow up, move a few times, have multiple stepdads, and just watch his life fall apart like that. Ultimately, I like the message, and I like what they were going for with this movie, but it's done so poorly that we can't overlook that just for the point of the movie, which is nothing. If I'm being completely honest, if I wasn't a movie critic, I would have turned this movie off halfway through. I had to force myself to watch it, and it only got good after that point. So if there's a lot of bad things, but some good things about this movie, why am I so frustrated with it? Well, maybe because it's got a 100 on Metacritic and a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, not to mention an 80% from fans and an 8-star rating on IMDb. This movie does not remotely deserve any of that praise. I'd give this movie like a 6. Now, a 6 isn't bad, but it's certainly not a masterpiece. Why is this film considered so great? Just because they filmed it weird? Honestly, the fact that they filmed it over 12 years is both the best part about this movie and the worst part. It's cool to see the actors and writer and director all grow and get better as the movie goes on, but then unfortunately you go back and see the first few scenes and see how bad they all are. So it's more of like an experiment than an actual movie, and that's cool, and maybe in the future we'll have great movies done in this style. But this movie isn't one of them. But unfortunately, with the current climate of movies, with all the sequels and remakes and reboots going out, originality has become a buzzword. Any film that can fit under that title of original is now automatically considered great, even if it isn't. Just because you're the first one to do something doesn't mean you're great for it. Maybe there's a good reason nobody's done it before. But this movie had no point, and after it made the point of having no point, it went on for another 15 minutes and then just ended.
It's like it's always right now, you know?
Yeah.
Do something! Anything!
And yeah, maybe that was a message about how life doesn't have magical little endings to it, and cool, but that doesn't mean you're good just because you know that. It's hard to explain, but there's a disconnect between knowing something and portraying it well in art form. Just because you say something that's insightful doesn't necessarily mean it's art. My point being, this movie was okay. and that's it. And it's okay to just be okay. You're allowed to just make a fun little movie. But just because something was original doesn't mean it was great. And this is a perfect example of that. So maybe I'm overthinking it, I don't know, but ultimately, I just don't think this movie deserves all the praise it got. But that's just my opinion. My unpopular opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me a lot, guys. And also, don't forget to comment and let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys. Bye.
I hate squash!